Sadie Adler is the best side character of Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's not even close. Made a widow by the O'Driscolls, ripped from her comfortable life by a fire caused by Micah, Sadie Adler has her world shattered and is taken in by the Vanderlyn gang, only to hold her own, fight along men like Arthur and Dutch, and even save the gang solely by herself. This is the story about how Sadie went from a widow to a gunslinger and finally to a bounty hunter.
They turned me into a monster, Arthur. That! But my memories. Now you know how it feels to watch somebody you love die. Of him, they still pure.
In the Wild West, legends tell of frontierswomen like Calamity Jane, sharpshooter and storyteller, Pearl Hart, one of the last recorded stagecoach robbers in the United States, Lottie Dino, famous gambler known for her poker skills, and sharpshooter Annie Oakley, who developed her aim providing for her impoverished family. Sadie Adler was no stranger to providing for her family by hunting alongside her husband, but that isn't where we start her story. We start her story by bearing the strength of a blizzard. The Adlers lived on a ranch they saw fit to make a living on, but were robbed by the O'Driscoll boys. During the robbery, Jake was murdered and thrown into a wagon, while Sadie hid in the cellar to avoid them. She waited there 3 days until the Vanderlyn gang came to the ranch in search of aid and supplies during the snowstorm. But what they found was a bunch of O'Driscolls and Sadie Adler.
It is gonna be okay. We mean you no harm. Miss! Come on. It'll be okay. We need to get out of here, and quick! Come on now.
Micah, who definitely looks like he's up to no good, accidentally burns the house down. When I first played this, I was unaware of who these characters really were, and I had no idea about who we just picked up into the gang.
Get on! We'll keep you safe until you figure out what you want to do.
What's your name, miss? Miss
Adler.
Adler.
Sadie Adler. Mrs. He was my husband.
And for the most part of Chapter 1, she is being comforted by other women in the gang. As we move down from the mountains, she has made a good friend in Abigail.
I wish they would have killed me too.
I know.
I wish it every goddamn day.
I know.
You know, if I had any courage, if I wasn't so damn weak, I'd kill myself too.
We both know that ain't true. We both know the bravery is in the living. I don't know you very well, but I can tell you're brave, Mrs. Adler. I really can.
Bravery is in the living indeed. It is not long after Chapter 2 starts that we see a glimpse into who this woman really is and how fierce her nature can be. After being assigned to help the cook of the camp, she is found threatening the man with a knife. After Arthur breaks it up, she begs him to let her do something else. Arthur obliges but warns her about the harsh reality that they face. She's fine with the consequences though, and she tags along for the trip. We have side characters like Charles and Hosea, which are great in their own right, but in this game specifically, there is no one besides her that has such a dramatic character arc and ends up doing so much for the gang. She also has something super poetic happen, which I talk about at the end of the video, so make sure to watch the whole way through.
But we do more than just hunting. We're hunted. And them things hunting us, well, they got guns of their own.
I ain't afraid of dying. So I've graduated from chopping vegetables to shopping.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
So, what's the plan? I shoot the shopkeeper while you...
No! You insane?
I thought we was outlaws.
It's funny to see her so eager to get into gunslinging. At first I thought it was a joke or maybe a misunderstanding of the situation, and Arthur does too. But it's clear later that Sadie actually isn't anyone you'd want to be messing with.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna go check the mail. Nothing exciting. Come on, lady, get a move on.
I like Sadie, not lady.
I know. So, you get everything?
I think so.
And some new clothes, I see?
Don't start.
We are confronted by two strangers. Without hesitation, she shoots at the men and hightails it to cover to get a better shot.
Go, go, go! God damn it! Get moving now! Come on! Blow her bloody brains out!
Yeah, you run, you goddamn coward! I think we're good here, Arthur. Stop shooting.
If you've played, you'll know Arthur is sometimes reluctant to keep certain company while out on missions. But Sadie gets the green light to come whenever she wants. It really says something. This whole interaction is a huge contrast with the other ladies in the camp. We aren't singing songs on the way to Valentine. We are asked to not say lady and forced into a gunfight. Sadie Adler is slowly healing and transforming into something else entirely.
Hey, will you give me some damn space? Just so you know, I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna kill all of them.
Who, Mrs. Adler?
Those O'Driscolls.
Even Dutch himself recognizes the drastic change.
When you gonna let me come robbing with you, Dutch?
My lord, a few more like her, we could take over the whole world.
A few more like her, there wouldn't be much of a world left.
Shortly after asking Dutch to bring her on robberies, the O'Driscolls show up to the gang's camp. Despite Arthur telling her to get inside with the rest of the gang, she refuses and is found slaying O'Driscolls all by herself. This girl is out for blood, and she's got a clear understanding of who is responsible for taking her life away. The bank robbery in Saint Denis does not go well, and after the disappearance of the main gang members, Sadie and Charles round up the rest of the members to a new hideout.
What happened? Can somebody get me a cup of coffee or something?
It was Mrs. Adler who saved us, Dutch. After the robbery in Saint Denis, she got us away from the camp before the Pinkertons turned up. Then Mrs. Adler and Mr. Smith drove away the degenerates who were living here.
Mrs. Adler, we owe you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's honestly great to see that Dutch is impressed by Sadie, and I think he shows genuine gratitude for her actions.
Give me a drink or something.
Get your own damn drink.
This is where Sadie Adler's story picks up and the Vanderlyn gang starts to deteriorate. The gang is found by the Pinkertons, and Sadie is right there with the other fighters to dispel them from the camp. After the fight is over, Abigail asks Dutch to rescue John, and Dutch refuses for the time being, which really made me mad, I'm gonna be honest. But Sadie is the one that agrees to help Abigail and convinces Arthur to do it soon. Arthur and Sadie meet in Saint Denis.
What happened to Dutch? Because he seems...
I don't know. Seems as what began happening in Blackwater began happening years ago, maybe. Slow decline, I guess.
But they need to make sure that John is still in the penitentiary, and she arranges a peculiar plan. In one of the most iconic moments of the game, Sadie Adler manages to put Arthur Morgan in a hot air balloon to scope out the prison.
Well, ain't she coming?
Well, women can't fly, sir. Are you insane?
They can.
Oh, no, sir. It does terrible damage to them, to their vapors. I thought everyone knew about that. Why, a delicate flower like Mrs. Adler? Heavens above or below.
After Arthur confirms that John is there, he sees Sadie being chased by the O'Driscolls. Here, Sadie isn't with the gang. She isn't with anyone. She is, as they say, standing on business. One woman Armageddon.
I'm starting to rather enjoy it.
Up here!
You're just in time.
I'll come down and get you on the other side.
Let's see what
In there, Arthur! Got it! Up! Let's get out of here!
I think we're gonna crash.
We have a real habit of stating the obvious, Arthur.
Hold on.
After all we've been through with Sadie, she's now running on all cylinders, and I find this dialogue of Arthur and her fighting really interesting.
What the hell is wrong with you? I only left you an hour ago. You can't stay out of trouble for one goddamn hour. You got that poor bastard killed for his troubles. I kinda liked him.
They got Combe, the government. They got Combe O'Driscoll. They're gonna hang him in Saint Denis.
Hang him. Okay.
He's already been tried twice for murder and found guilty.
Sure, no doubt he'll escape again.
No, he won't, because we're gonna make sure of it.
I get a lot of comments on my Red Dead videos, and one of them pointed out that Sadie is one of the most morally gray characters in the game. There is a side of her that is ruthless and a killer, but it's balanced by the backstory she has, and she stays loyal to Arthur throughout the game. She's the one that convinces Arthur and Dutch to make sure Colm hangs, and appeals to their personal grudges towards the man. It does kind of make you wonder about her a little bit.
And our situation is really messed up right now. You know how things is.
Bastard's gonna swing. I'm gonna make sure of it.
Closely followed by Marston.
You saw him?
Yes.
Then we go rescue him.
It's really interesting how the game's themes deal with redemption and revenge. Sadie Adler's character arc is defined by her thirst for revenge. Meanwhile, she is saving the gang and is now on the path to save John Marston. She has a whole story beneath the main story going for herself.
What?
She ain't coming with us to collect her husband.
Abigail, you ain't coming. That's the end of the matter.
See, there you heard him.
We are instantly on a boat towards the penitentiary, and with one of the hardest missions in the game, we break John out, and Sadie carries her own here.
Okay, friend, be cool now. Just do as I say.
They got Milliken!
Got him and gonna kill him. Unless you bring me John Marston. Right now. Hey, John. Hello, you two. Now, no funny business. Or Mr. Milliken here will stop crying once and for all. Okay, today's your lucky day.
Revenge is in full force for Dutch, Sadie, and Arthur. John is freed, and Colm is set to hang. In a very unique mission, we put on disguises and make sure to attend the event. And it's kind of funny to see her and the boys all dolled up like this.
Mrs. Adler, might I say, being a fancy woman of Saint Denis suits you.
I'd dress up like the Queen of Sheba if it meant seeing that son of a bitch swing.
Colm hung me up, nearly butchered me. That don't mean I'm comfortable in this woolen coat.
You made it out of that predicament, as I remember, Mr. Morgan. My husband weren't so lucky.
You lost your husband. I lost my darling Annabelle. That poor boy Kieran. We've all lost something because of Colm. And that is why we will shepherd him to eternity.
It's obvious as soon as we understand who in the crowd is here to save Colm that Sadie ain't messing around, and all would have gone smooth unless...
Now you know how it feels to watch somebody you love die. You ruined my life!
Okay, let's go. Morgan, you hear us? Take a shot on these O'Driscolls.
Mission accomplished. And as I said, that was the predecessor to the culmination of Sadie's revenge story, because now she has one last thing to ask of Arthur, to help her kill the man who killed her husband. It's interesting to note at this point, if you're playing High Honor, this is arguably the most morally gray choice in the game. On one hand, we are taking revenge on behalf of our friend's vengeance and killing many other men in the process. On the other hand, these are obviously bad men, and we could be preventing further harm that they could do. Whatever your thinking on this moment is, Rockstar has deemed that helping Sadie Adler is the High Honor choice. And in doing so, we get one of the most potent scenes in Sadie's story.
Like, you're the only one of these fools that I trust. I've got to do this.
I'll tell you what, I'll do it, but there's something you could help me with. Abigail, Jack, John, make sure they make it. I mean, this whole thing is pretty much done, but when the time comes...
How do you mean?
When the time comes, you help them.
What do you mean?
I mean, help them escape. When I... You know, you and me, we're more ghosts than people. But them, they could...
I know. Of course I will. Thank you, Arthur. It's a big ranch.
Just shoot her! I don't care what she is, shoot her! You come near this barn, we'll open up on you!
Sadie!
Yeah. He was a good man, my Jakey. We was always sweet on one another.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I miss him every day, every moment. They turned me into a monster, Arthur. But my memories of him, they still pure.
I ain't even got that.
Aside from my Jake, you're the best man I've known.
I know the company you keep. The competition ain't too fierce.
At this point, Sadie is ride to die for who she believes is on the right side, which at this point is not Dutch. Dutch sees it as okay that Jack becomes an orphan and doesn't save Abigail. Arthur is in disbelief but gives Tilly and Jack some money to get away. Sadie agrees to help Arthur break out Abigail. If Arthur has high honor, Sadie has some high honor as well. Because on this mission, she makes sure that she is going to be the one going full force into the Pinkerton town while Arthur is covering her.
Because you're the better shot, I mean.
That ain't what you mean. I can still fight.
I know, Arthur, but just do it my way, honey. It's for the best. Get up someplace high, like the lighthouse or something, and cover me.
She went from being Arthur's sidekick to Arthur being her sidekick, and they break into where Abigail is and confront Milton.
Okay, ladies, let's get out of here.
Calm down, Mr. Morgan. That's quite a cough.
We find the truth out about who is ratted on the gang, and Arthur has decided that he needs to say some words to Dutch and Micah.
Yeah,
Arthur, there's no time.
there's time.
What happened to John? Where's John?
I don't know. I think...
Arthur.
He got killed or he got captured.
No.
I'm really sorry,
No!
Abigail. I was on the train and I didn't see it.
No!
Listen, we got Jack. He's safe. Mrs. Adler will take you to him. But, John, I want you to know this. He loved you. He loved you, and Jack, he did. He wasn't perfect, but he did. Now, you gotta go get that boy. Go on, get out of here.
Arthur, what are you doing?
I gotta go have a little chat before I get much sicker.
No, Arthur.
Don't you owe Arthur me. Neither of you two. Not now. You both know. You're good women.
This is the last time we will see Sadie, until the epilogue. Sadie was a good friend to Arthur, and she's a good friend to John. We are reunited with John, who is without Abigail at the moment. At this point, so many years later, Sadie is a full-fledged bounty hunter who is taking no crap from anyone. Here, she is seen as witty, smart, and from what we can tell, she usually does this all alone. It almost makes John seem pretty tame in comparison, actually. Sadie gives him some work as a bounty hunter.
I thought I heard a rumor you was alive. Jim Milton, that you?
Guess I didn't do a real good job of hiding my identity. We didn't hear nothing about you.
You kill a feller up by Roanoke?
Sure did.
I thought that sounded like you and Abigail and Jack.
She's fine.
She was always so kind to me.
I'm looking to buy some property. Beecher's Hope, west of Blackwater. I'm kind of a farmer now. And you?
Oh, you know it is. Bounties mostly, and some other stuff, good and bad. Hey, you any interest in bounties?
I've gone straight. Sort of.
Oh, it's legal. Usually.
In the epilogue, Sadie takes John on multiple bounties, some of which have incredibly memorable moments, like looking over New Austin and getting attacked by a bear. Sadie shows no fear during those moments. For the most part, Sadie doesn't change much throughout the epilogue. She just shows that she is in fact the badass that we thought she was.
Oh, and James Langton's dead. We killed him.
Why'd you do a thing like that?
It was him that robbed me.
Okay. Here. Here's a decent price on Finley.
I know.
Bounty hunting is a way to make money, and is not necessarily the main part of the epilogue. The main part is American venom, and Sadie is the one who brings the news to the doorstep of John Marston, now reunited with Abigail, that Micah is around and there is word of his whereabouts. John and Sadie made a promise back in the day that they would finish off Micah together.
One of his boys wanted for murdering a woman. Been seen drinking in Strawberry. If we can get to him, he'll lead us to Micah. But I gotta go now. You coming?
No, he's not coming.
I will.
That's your business. His business is here.
Yeah, I'll ride with you.
If Colm was the culmination of her revenge story, this is the culmination of her character. Sadie tries to help Charles when he gets hurt, but goes ahead with his blessing. But when she gets stabbed, she urges John to forget about her and go ahead with the plan.
You all right?
Just fine.
You don't look too fine.
Come on.
You're bleeding pretty bad.
Ain't nothing.
You should sit down.
I'm fine.
You're dying.
I'll be fine.
Just sit. It's okay.
I ain't dying. I ain't.
I hope not.
I ain't dying. Just go get him. I'll be fine. I just need to rest.
Okay.
John goes ahead to face Micah without Sadie or Charles, only for Sadie to show up at the last second and turn the power dynamic on Micah. It's a beautifully poetic moment as Micah was the first one who crossed paths with Sadie, accidentally setting her house on fire.
Turn around and start walking.
You got me!
Just like old times. All manner of folk paying social calls.
That is until Dutch shows up, kills Micah, and leaves. John goes in for the money and gives a portion to Sadie. Sadie heals up, attends the Marston wedding, and goes on bounty hunting. I went a little short on the epilogue part because I just did a huge 40-minute deep dive into the epilogue if you'd like to check that out. Subscribe if you're an outlaw.